Welcome back, DIVEBOMB IndyCar Podcast, and we're joined by another very special guest, a guest we had very on early in the year, but we're delighted to have him back. It is the 2025 Indy NXT champion, Dennis Hauger. Dennis, welcome back to the show. Privileged to have you back on, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for having me.
You've had a couple of days to reflect on the season now. I mean, how do you reflect on your championship winning season? Was it something you were expecting when you first joined the series? I mean, how do you look back on the year?
Yeah, obviously it's been a pretty good year. For sure, looking back, the season has just been unreal with Andretti coming over here to the States for the first year, not really knowing the paddock and not really knowing what to expect about myself going into the Indy NXT rookie season. But it felt really natural with Andretti from the beginning, and yeah, I felt pretty quick from the beginning as well in the car. It was feeling natural, and was just feeling like I had a good flow with it. So from then on, we just kept working, got into sort of a rhythm to understand the car and everything else. And yeah, we just kept working from there. And obviously ending up with a title is pretty cool.
How do you think you adapted to Indy NXT so well? Because I remember last year at the test, we were looking at the results and oh my goodness, Dennis Hauger's top already after one day of testing. Like, what's going on here? So how did you get off to such a fast start? And what was sort of that transition period like, getting used to the Indy NXT car?
I don't know. I mean, when I got over there and I sort of had in my mindset already, like, okay, I have 1 year to do this and trying to get the best possible results. So I just have to go out there and try and impress everyone in the first outing. That was kind of the goal. I was talking with my manager, Harold, and we were like, okay, just send it on the first run and try to do the best possible job. And for sure, I think I did a good job. I was P1 after that first run and showed everyone like I can get into this pretty quickly. And to be honest, I think just really feeling good with the car from that first run helped me a lot because it's a pretty light car and it's a lot of movement. You can really just push through the limits, which I really enjoy. And I think that's kind of a style that suits me. And I think looking back, maybe like the Formula 2 car, you could really not do that, especially with the old F2 car. You could really not do that. And I was always kind of struggling to find that natural feeling with the F2 car, and just coming over here and just getting into it pretty easily felt like such a nice feeling again. So yeah, from then on, we just sort of kept building that confidence and to understand and like trying to understand the car as well as possible. And yeah, it was a pretty nice feeling.
And I know you've spoken across the year a bit about the preparation that you did before coming over. So is there any specific bit of the prep that you did that you feel benefited you most? Because I know you said you watched a lot of video footage and among other things. So was there any of that you feel really stood you in a good position heading into the year more than other things?
I think so. I mean, just watching a lot of videos, knowing every track to the detail before even starting the season, I think helped me just sort of get my mind to understand the tracks very quickly. And I think that honestly, like the simulator stuff I've done with my engineer and with the team, and just really trying to prepare every time we go to a track. I want to really know that I've worked on this track more than everyone else before I get there. And I feel like I can say that pretty confidently that we were one of those guys who worked the hardest before getting on track to be prepared. And I think that's probably one of the things that stood out this year, that we just really were on it from that lap one. We knew what we had to do and what we had to achieve. And I think that helped us on every new track for me this year.
And then we look at St. Petersburg right at the start of the season, your first race, and you absolutely dominate the race, leading from start to finish. So after that race, what were you thinking? Were you like, well, this is easy, I've dominated my first race? And what were your thoughts after you just wiped the floor in your first race?
I mean, yeah, that first weekend was like a bit of nerves, not really knowing what to expect. Testing was going well, but it's always a bit different on a race weekend. Especially on the first round was a track I've never been to before either. It was a street course. So yeah, practice one was good. We got P1 in practice one, and practice two there was like it wasn't going really smoothly for us, and we got P2, and I was like, okay, let's see how it goes into qualifying. And we just put everything together in qualifying and nailed it, and we got the pole position, and it was such a nice feeling. And then we went into the race, and again, rolling starts, a new thing for me. I haven't done that since karting, and just those kind of small things made me a bit nervous. But I think once we just got going, I knew what I had to do, and I just had to stay calm and do my thing. And I think we executed pretty well. And from then on, I think we could just get into the rhythm more, like after that first weekend, and that was nice.
I just wanted to talk a bit about the cadence of the year, because I think you won maybe 4 of the first 5 races, and then it kind of felt like Kaio and HMD and I guess Miles and the Able team as well started to catch up a little bit of ground. So was it a case of them finding something? Do you feel you dropped off a little bit? Just talk a bit about how the year, I guess, progressed from obviously such a dominant start, and then a lot of other guys coming into challenge. And I guess did you panic at any point that maybe the championship would start to slip?
No, not really. I feel like we had everything controlled for most of the time, at least. The first 5 races were kind of, I think, suited my style pretty well. Street courses, quite technical tracks like Barber. And we had just one race in Indianapolis where someone hit me and I had to go from the back of the field from that beginning of the race. And then in the second half of the season, I think there was a bit more uncommon or things that wasn't as used to, like the ovals first race, getting that 5th place. And we had 4 ovals in the second half of the year. You had Road America, which I had never tested that either, where there are pretty long straights, and it was a bit of a weird weekend for us balance-wise as well. We struggled a bit more than usual, and I think we still did a pretty good job getting that pole position. I think I got everything out of the car, and I think Colette was just quicker than us that weekend. There's a few places I think in the second half of the year where we probably didn't have everything we needed to win, but we were still P2 or P3, and I think that's sort of what we needed to get the championship. And then we had one weekend in Laguna where it just didn't go our way at all with that crash as well. And we lost some points there for sure. I think that's probably the most stressful moment. We were like, okay, we got to take a step back here and just focus on the next race. And I think that's what we did. We won in Portland, and I think that was a pretty crucial race as well for the championship. So there's been a lot of moments this year, but overall, I think a pretty controlled year for us.
And something that really interests me in I guess the junior series, the feeder series, is the relationship that you have with teammates, because I guess you have to balance it being a team game, but also at the same time, you're fighting against each other for pretty few seats, aren't you, at the top level, whether that is F1, whether that's IndyCar in your case now. So what is that dynamic like with teammates when you're in one of these feeder series where, okay, you're teammates, but you are also fighting for your own career as well?
Yeah, I think it's not easy because everyone's fighting for their own career, as you said. Everyone's bringing their own budget to trying to get to that top step. And I think it's always a bit of you got to get that balanced dynamic of being teammates, really working with each other to be the best as a team as possible, but also you want to beat your teammates more than anything as well, because that shows you maximize what you get in the car. So for sure, I think some drivers you get along with more than others, and that's always how it's going to be. Like some people just get along with other people more than others. Like that's just how it is. But I think as teammates, you just have to work together professionally, and trying to find that balance. And that's not always as easy as it sounds. But I think we've done a really good job this year in the Andretti team. I mean, we've had a few incidents with the teammates this year, which is obviously unfortunate. But I think we've still just talked about it as professionals and really taking the team to the next race together. So I think that's been an important part of it as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, even when you and Lockie were kind of fighting in those, especially the early part of the season where you looked like the two contenders, it seemed like the relationship was pretty good. Then obviously Laguna Seca happened. Like, what sort of conversations did you have after that, and was it quite quickly sorted out, I guess?
Yeah, it was pretty quickly sorted out. We had a talk later on the same day, and I think we were both annoyed. We both lost a lot of points. He probably lost the chance of getting a P2 in the championship that weekend as well. So we both knew that's not how it should be, and I think we really took that into consideration for the next 3 races. And I think that's what you got to do. I mean, you're gonna have to do mistakes in your life, and the most important thing is to learn from them. And I think we did that, and just moved forward from there.
You touched on it a couple of times. Coming into the season, there's a lot of change, over racing, rolling starts, push to pass. The list goes on and on and on. New tracks as well, of course, for you. So, maybe what surprised you the most, or took you the longest to get up to speed with Indy NXT, and just generally the American style of racing?
For sure, the ovals. It's I have absolutely zero experience with that when I came into the season, and I was again watching a bunch of videos, just trying to understand as much as possible. But I feel like the thing with ovals as well is you don't really get to prepare it on the simulator. You don't really get to learn as much as you do on the road courses by just watching. You really need to go out there and experience it, do different things, experiment a bit, and see how it works. And when you're fighting for a championship as well, that's not the easiest thing to do, because you want to have like the risk versus reward. And I think that was the good thing about Nashville. Like, I didn't have a championship to worry about. I could just go out there, try a few different lines, and just really play with it a bit more. So I feel like that's the race I probably learned the most this year about the oval racing, and that was a good feeling. But other than that, it's been pretty natural. I mean, just working with the team, and they've got the most out of me every weekend, and I think that's been really nice.
So on those ovals, what would you say the biggest sort of takeaways or lessons have been compared to maybe what you expected of oval racing pre-season?
I think most guys coming from Europe, coming from European racing, like watching Indy 500 or just ovals in general, like how hard can it actually be? Like how is it that hard to just turn left? And it's just crazy how much more it is into oval racing than you think. With the air, with the lines, with how the lines grip up or lose grip, and just how you need to be in the right rhythm to catch someone or not lose a position. There's so many factors, and especially in IndyCar, there's so many things they have to do while driving as well with the tools. So yeah, that really caught me by surprise in that first test. And honestly, I really enjoyed ovals, and I feel like I've learned more and more every race. It's pretty cool, and probably one of the coolest experiences I've had in a car is on the oval. So yeah, it's something unique about it for sure.
And what would you say the biggest culture shocks have been? Obviously, moving over from Europe to the US, that can be like something in the paddock or just off-track things, moving and obviously living in America for 6 months. What's been the biggest kind of takeaway on that side of things as well?
I mean, I don't think it's been too bad. I think the first couple of weeks when I came to the US, I was just going to every restaurant I've seen on like television, like Olive Garden and all these kind of fast food restaurants. And I went there and I just tried everything on the first week. But honestly, other than that, it's been pretty natural with Andretti and everything. It's felt like home since the first couple of weeks, and from then on, it's not been too bad. It's been nice to have really good weather over there in the summer. Like, it's pretty warm. And one of the things probably is like when we were at the interview thing on Monday after Nashville, we had biscuits and gravy for breakfast. What is that? So there's like those kind of small things with food and all that. That's a bit different, but overall, pretty good.
That's insane. Biscuits and gravy. Yeah. Wow.
And of all these restaurants you've been to, do you have a favorite? Do you have a least favorite? What's Dennis's food recommendations?
I mean, honestly, like when I've been over in the US now in my apartment, I make all the food I make is I buy from the market, and I make it my own food. So I haven't gone out too much to other restaurants after that, but if I have to go like after a race weekend and I'm too tired to like make my own food on a Sunday night or something, probably my go-to place is Panda Express.
Okay.
I like that one. Yeah, that's the one.
And I'm interested, just going back to the driving side. It's what, 4 years? Is it 4 years now since you won the F3 championship? So how different do you feel, obviously, the place you are in your career now, having left the F1 ladder, pursued IndyCar, now searching for, obviously, a drive in IndyCar? How different do you feel, both in terms of where you are in your career and also your development as a driver as well at this point in your career, these few years on?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot going up the ladder and just getting older, obviously getting more experience. When I won the F3 championship, I had just turned 18. So obviously a young guy, still not too old. I mean, 22, it's not too bad, but but yeah, like obviously getting that championship was really important for me and a big step in my career. And then when I got to the F2, obviously I was hoping for more. I was hoping for a championship, and it was just really hard to, get it in the end. It didn't feel super natural. And coming over here again to the US with Andretti as well, it felt super natural again. And that's sort of a feeling I've been chasing for a while in the car. So it was just so nice and such a relief and so much fresher to come over here again and kind of just reset my mind and get into it. So yeah, it's been a really good year, and I'm more motivated than ever as well. So that feels really good.
And when we spoke to you earlier on in the year, we obviously knew you went to Indy next because of sort of budgetary reasons. But after this season, Indy next, and you've had a chance to learn the tracks, learn a little bit about the Firestones, rolling starts, push to pass, with all these intricacies, how much better do you feel prepared for a potential IndyCar seat next season or in the future in comparison to maybe what you did a year ago?
I feel as prepared as possible. I mean, I think I'm not sure how much of Formula 2 racing helped me into this season. I mean, I think experience and just being confident with probably aerodynamics and how to use it helped me a bit. But like the cars are so different, the tracks are so different. Like there is literally almost nothing that's the same. So I could say, I have so much more experience than everyone, but I'm still the youngest guy in the top 8 or something. I don't remember in the championship this year. So there was probably quite a few new things. But I think for me, getting up to IndyCar, I feel as prepared as possible. I feel like I learned a lot of the tracks this year and got really into a good rhythm with them. I learned a lot about the ovals this year, which is obviously a really important part of racing over there. And I think also like the small compound with learning, for example, Pirelli tires and Firestone tires, like both how they work in their own way and how to manage the tires as well as possible is something I can bring as well into a potential IndyCar seat. So I feel like there's things from different parts of my career which I can take into it, and I hope I can obviously extract the most of it if I get the opportunity.
And now we've got the next season finished. Obviously, all eyes are towards the next year and your plans for next year. So are there much discussions going on currently towards an IndyCar seat? Do you feel confident at the minute about your chances of getting into the field? Yeah,
I mean, obviously that's what I'm working towards. That's the goal for 2026 is to be in an IndyCar seat and be on the grid and be at the Indy 500. I mean, that's the dream and that's the goal. So obviously nothing I can say right now that's going to blow you away, but that's what we're working towards now, and hopefully we can achieve it.
And I'm interested because obviously it's been such a good year with Andretti, and we've seen in the past the likes of Kirkwood going for a year at AJ Foyt Racing and then going back to Andretti. Are you keen to kind of try and maintain a relationship with Andretti with a view to maybe a future drive there, if that's something that is a possibility?
For sure. I think that would be something that would be really cool and a big honor. Obviously, I think that's something they did with Colton. That's something they did with Kirkwood, which is one of the best guys on the IndyCar grid right now. So if I get that opportunity, that would be amazing, and I think that would be really good part of my learning progress as well. So obviously we'll see what's going to happen, but that would be probably optimal for me and my step up. Yeah.
And one more thing we'd like to ask you is, obviously one of the quirks about winning an American Championship is you get a ring. That's very different to how it is in Europe. So how does the ring look?
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool when I got that ring up there, and that's a big ass ring. and you've seen that. I mean, that's a very American thing, as you said. Like, you get that in all the major leagues in the US, and in the 500, obviously, you get a big ring. It's not quite as big as the Indy 500 ring, but it's still pretty big. And yeah, that was really cool. I like the concept, and it's for sure something I'll keep with me until the day I die.
Are you going to wear it, or is it going to be on display? Have you got any plans for it? What's going to happen?
I don't know yet. Right now I don't have it on. Like, it's stored in a secret place. No, I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'll take it out and use it for the 2026 season. But I think it's a bit too big to wear under the gloves, at least. So we'll see.
Is that hat you're wearing? Is that from the podium at IMS? Was that the one you got on the podium?
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
I remember that.
Most of the year I've just worn the last cap I got on the podium. So yeah, for a while it was this, and then I got the one from Laguna Seca, and then obviously got the championship hat for Milwaukee. So I was wearing that in Nashville. So yeah, I've just kept wearing the last cap I've got. I think they're pretty cool. So yeah, I like them.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask as well, because I think last time we had you on, it was before May, and you obviously experienced the Indy 500 from the sidelines. So what were your impressions of that? I know obviously your goal now is to race that next year, but what were your impressions of it? Because it's obviously such a massive event, and it's probably quite different to any other motorsport event you've ever really been at least involved in some capacity.
Yeah, it's honestly the craziest thing I've ever seen on a track. Just seeing the amount of people so early in the morning getting ready for the race, and so many people camping and getting into the track, and just the atmosphere. You can feel intensity from how intense the teams are. They've had like 10 days of testing before they go there, and before in time there was even more testing before that race. So just the amount of time everyone puts into one day, which is the Indy 500, and just using all their energy to achieve their goal, which is winning it, is you can just feel you can feel it in the whole track. So that was something I'll remember forever, and it would be crazy to be on that grid. Yeah,
and I guess seeing the cars on track, does it make you excited for the possible prospect of doing that? Are you a little bit nervous of seeing those sort of speeds? What are your feelings about that?
I mean, it looks pretty cool. I've never really been like scared of speed. I don't think you should be as a racing driver either. But I think people have different emotions and different first impressions when they get on track. So we'll see when that happens. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to see how it feels around there. Qualifying modes at the Indy 500 just looks sick. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Dennis, that's what we've got for you. We appreciate you coming on again this season, and congratulations on the title again. We appreciate you've done a lot of interviews recently, so really appreciate your time. But enjoy your off season, and we're wishing you the best in finding a seat for 2026.
Thank you, guys. See ya.